As we head into the 6th event of the Team Quadrilla Marble League in Season 4, we reach an event that has never been seen before in the Quadrilla Marble League, but you may be familiar with it from Tour de Endurance, another competition. And very fittingly for this event, we will have a very special guest joining me in commentary. It's Angus from Tour de Endurance.
Hello everyone, what a pleasure it is to be here for Event 6 of the Quadrilla Marble League Season 4, the block bumping, a classic from Tour de Endurance. 4 marbles, one at a time from the team, come down and try to bump that block as far as they can. If it's knocked out, it's an invalid run and you get 3 tries to get a proper push. If you get 3 invalid runs, you are disqualified. It is 1 run per team, it is as simple as that, and there you see the standings coming into this event. Who will come out on top for Event 6?
In the last event, Red Lotus, as defending champions, got the gold medal and stretched their lead to 11 points over the Deep Divers. Then it's the Golden Cheeses and the Poison Ivy, our hosts, in 4th place. We will go in reverse championship order, so the Slime Balls will start us off. A decent result in the previous event, but before that, it's been a dismal run so far in Season 4. What can the Season 2 champions do? It's a not great push for the first marble. The next marbles are coming down now.
Second and third one is chaotic, and the second one is thrown out of the track, but it's a strong third push. Now comes the anchor to try and push them as far as they can, and it's a solid anchor for the Slime Balls. That is what looks to be a pretty good run with two great bumps, but the opening one and the second one left a lot to be desired. Second one especially went pretty much nowhere, but we'll have to see how it stacks up. This is the benchmark push, so they have no clue where it's going to line up with still 15 runs to go.
Yeah, the way this course is set up is that the second and third marbles will likely, for most of these runs, come down pretty quickly, and it's going to be just shy of 50 centimeters, 49.6. How will everyone else stack up to that? Of course, this is the first time these teams have done block bumping in the Quadrilla Marble League. The Green Lotus will start us off in the second run. Of course, the Green Lotus, similarly, a very poor start.
Yeah, they've had a surprisingly poor start to the season for Season 3 second place, and it's a great first push, better than the Slime Balls at least. Down comes the second one, it's well far forward, the third one is fantastic too! The Green Lotus, this is a much better run than the Slime Balls. It is in fact fantastic. 4 great bumps by the Green Lotus, that is going to be well above the Slime Balls benchmark. A new benchmark has been set, and it's a much better one.
Yeah, that yellow block showing you where the provisional leader is, and the Green Lotus already surpassed the Slime Balls just after 3 pushes. The final anchor does well enough to push them well clear of, I think, 60. That will be a great benchmark, and could we be seeing that being a benchmark for the medals? We'll have to see. The Green Lotus, though, this is looking like they're returning to form that they needed, 63.4 centimeters. How will everyone else stack up to that?
Tell you what, Shadow Riders feeling a bit worried after following up a run like that. Slime Balls looked pretty good, but Green Lotus looked fantastic. Shadow Riders, of course, they've had a struggling start as well. These bottom 3 teams have been a surprising opener, but the Green Lotus have already started to bring it back, it looks like. First push for the Shadow Riders is nice and strong. What can the others do?
Here comes the second one. Second one misses, but a huge one for the third push. Look at that push, moving the block the other way, but the fourth one pushes the block out of the lane. A great push that was looking amazing just has completely gone away, and they're going to have to go again for a second push.
Oh, that was painful. Shadow Riders had a fantastic third bump. It went out of the track and back into the track, and it somehow worked out. Shadow Riders' first push, perhaps feeling a bit exhausted after that first run because it's not as strong as it could have been. The third marble completely misses the block, and this fourth one is going to need a miracle to push past Green Lotus, and he almost does. That was a fantastic anchor to recover what looked like a pretty paltry run.
I still think the Shadow Riders are going to be thinking what could have been after that first run, but that anchor really elevated them close enough to the Green Lotus. It's not going to beat them, but the Shadow Riders easily going to take second place after this.
That was very good by the Shadow Riders. Those final 2 was fantastic enough to push them just behind the 60 mark, and 59.2, only 4 behind the Green Lotus. If that second marble hadn't completely missed the block, that would have definitely been in first place as the Valley Dashers lined up next. Gorge at front, Valley at back. We'll see how these can stack up to the last 2 runs, which have been impressive in their own rights.
See one marble come down pretty early, and it's not a great push for the first marbles. The other ones will need to dig deep in order to bring this back. Second push pretty good. Then it's the third one. It's looking fairly decent for the second and third. But very chaotic for the final push. And a pretty good run has just gone away from them and the Valley Dashers. I don't think this is going to come close to the top 2.
Yeah, lack of control on that last one, but all the competitors were not pushed up against the block, so all of that forward power from the fourth push went into his competitors and not the block. So they were sent out of the track, the block went nowhere, and the Valley Dashers will provisionally be in either third or fourth place. It's hard to tell with this tape measure here. We'll see what it stacks up to the Slime Balls. It is, in fact, P4, 45.9, just behind the Slime Balls, and the Valley Dashers, 4th out of 4 so far, not looking good for them.
So it's the Green Lotus after 4 runs that have the lead, just barely though, over the Shadow Riders. There's a bit of a gap down to the Slime Balls and the Valley Dashers in 3rd and 4th. Now the Olive Orbs in the 5th run. Olive Orbs in the return to the A division in the Team Quadrilla Marble League hasn't been the best of starts. Could have been a lot worse for them as well. First push is decent. We'll have to see what the other models can do though.
It's at least better than their Season 2 run when they were in the A-League. The second and third pushes are absolutely shambolic. They just knocked their teammates out of the track. This fourth one will have to be beyond unbelievable to salvage anything, and it is still quite strong. But Olive Orbs, but aside from the first and fourth pushes, that left a lot to be desired. Like these second and third ones, just have a look at this. The second one whiffs completely and just knocks his teammate out, or knocks himself out, sorry. It's just a slight push, but then this third one, just nothing at all.
The anchor really pulling it back for them, but only 44 flat. That's not even good enough to bring them out of last place. Those middle 2 runs really hurt them. And the only one they're really close to is the Valley Dashers. Now, Team Atlantic in the 6th run. 2 seasons ago, they got the win in block pushing. How will that translate, if anything, to block bumping here in Season 4?
Yeah, will the direct strength translate instead of the strategy that is more clear in this event? The first push isn't too bad. The second one just coming down now. Second and third completely missed the block. We've seen that again. Just like with the Olive Orbs, what can the anchor do? Will it be as strong as the Olive Orbs one? Yes! But did it salvage anything from that run? Because that was... the second and third pushes were just terrible.
And I don't think so. I think that final push only got them too close to the 40 mark. If even they're going to cross the 40 mark, I don't think they're going to cross 40. And that's going to be dead last for Team Atlantic. Very disappointing based on, compared to their runs in strength-based events in the previous seasons. P6 out of 6 runs, 39.9. Team Atlantic difficulties continue for them in this season. Sinister Sprinters now, they have a bronze medal in balancing earlier in this season, but not much else. What can they do in block bumping?
They're coming together pretty close here. There's one coming down fairly soon, and it's not the best first push, but the second and third one's taking their time to calculate these pushes. Second one is solid. Third one pushes his teammate again into the block. The anchor's going to need a good one here. We've seen that a lot throughout these runs, and it's not too bad, but it looks like to be only just ahead of 40, and another rough run from these teams.
Yeah, I think it will surpass Team Atlantic, but it'll be in that pack with the Olive Orbs, Valley Dashers, maybe the Slime Balls, but I don't think it'll reach them. Sinister Sprinters, we're seeing these last few runs have really struggled compared to perhaps the Green Lotus and the Shadow Riders, who were exceptional in the early part of this event. It is better than Team Atlantic, better than 40, but only 6th place out of 7, just a 41.4 for the Sinister Sprinters. Now we move on to the final run of the first half, the Majestic Melons.
See what they can do. Lined up, long hold in the gate for this one. The Majestic Melons kicking off the end of the first half. What can they do for the block bumping? They've seen some pretty poor runs so far. That's a good opening first push. What can the second and third one, and all the rest of them say? Second one coming down now, and it's an absolute chaos down the board. All of them came down at once almost. Here comes the fourth one. They pushed pretty far with that shambolic, and it's an invalid run on the very last push. That is unfortunate.
Perhaps some strategy there, because I think they saw that the second and third pushes were not to their liking, and they wanted another go. We're going to have one more go and see how it is. First marble will come down. It's a pretty good first push. What can the second and third ones do?
And they come now. They're not all coming down together this time. They all come down together, as I said, and it's fantastic this time. Second and third ones push well ahead. Can they get ahead of that yellow mark? Not quite. In fact, that's going to be higher than what we've seen in the last few runs, but it's still not going to quite contest with the Green Lotus or maybe even the Shadow Riders. We'll have to wait and see. But some pretty good bumps there from the Majestic Melons to get them into a solid high mid-pack spot for the halfway point of this event.
Yeah, the last few runs we've really seen the middle 2 models really struggle to get all of their energy directed into that block, but the Majestic Melons did that very well, and dare I say their weakness was the anchor that could have pushed it even further, but still, 54.1, that's good enough for third place behind the Green Lotus and the Shadow Riders, but still, Majestic Melons making good use of their second run and getting into third place.
There you see Green Lotus 63.4, Shadow Riders 59.2. Currently no one has cracked 60 like the Green Lotus have. And as we move on to the second half with Floundering Fish to kick us off. No medals yet, but they're still sitting pretty high in the standings for a medalist team, ahead of several teams who have 1 or 2. Here they come down to hit the block in the start of the second half. It's a not great first push. What can the others do?
Here comes the second push. It's a solid second push, avoiding their teammate. Look in the third one, it's pretty decent as well, but the marbles are in the way of the track. The anchor is going to collide with their teammates, and that anchor marble really didn't have a lot to work with. The teammates needed to stay closer to the block, but for the first 3 pushes weren't too bad, and I think the Floundering Fish are going to be getting some decent positions here.
We'll have to wait and see. The first, second, and third ones are pretty good. Just the anchor left a lot to be desired. The anchor has been the saviour for some, the downfall of others, as we've seen so far. But that second and third one is really going to push them into the results here. Fourth one, yeah, just not too much chaos in the lane. And P6 out of 9, 44.3. It could have been a lot worse for the Floundering Fish, but they'll be thinking what could have been after that anchor as we move on to Yellow Lotus in run 10.
Daisy, the captain, out in front. The Yellow Lotus got a silver 2 events ago in the Quadrilla race, but aside from that, they've been quite consistently the worst. The mid-pack Lotus team. And the first push is a good one, very good one. The second and third ones come down now. What can the anchor do? This looks like a pretty good push for them. Or will they collide with their teammates, and it's going to be just shy, I think, of 60. It's going to be crossing 50, though that's not something we've seen that much in the past few runs.
Fantastic strategy there. Second and third one came down very quickly, and they both pushed it pretty far because they were able to keep the momentum going after knocking it. Second and third, that was very good strategy by Yellow Lotus. But then they started pushing themselves back, getting in the way of each other for the final anchor, and that's gonna get them up into P4, 52.5, just off of the podium. But there's still 6 runs to go, so they're likely going to fall a couple more spots. But can anyone catch the Green Lotus as Venomous Vipers come up for run 11?
Venomous Vipers have swapped their lineup with Python out on the front, Viper the captain out on the back, and after a long hold in the gate, we'll see what the Venomous Vipers can do. The first marble, huge first push, that was fantastic from the opener. What can the other marbles do? Can they follow up with a good push? Good second push, but the third one completely misses it.
The third one does zero movement from the third one. The fourth one is nice and far. Is that beyond the yellow line? I don't know. Oh, that is very close for the Venomous Vipers. That third marble could be the difference for a potential gold medal here from the Venomous Vipers. It's a wonderful fourth and second and first strike. It was just that third marble. He just completely missed the block. Let's have a look at this again in the slow motion. That's the second one. But this third one just hits his teammate and just zero movement. Absolutely none from the third marble. That is not what you want to do.
The back edge of the red block is it, so it will be behind the Green Lotus, but second place they do crack 60 centimeters with 60.4, but it is good enough for second place behind the Green Lotus, ahead of the Shadow Riders. Fantastic from the Venomous Vipers, as the Aquamarines are gold medalists from the very first event. The distance drag will come down now.
The first push is a very solid one from the opening Aquamarines marble. The second and third ones usually come down together, and here they come just like that. As you see, the second one is pushed far, but the third marble gets absolutely nowhere due to too much contact. What can the anchor do to salvage the run? It's going to be solid, a very solid last push up towards what looks to be close or beyond 50. That's going to get them up in the standings, but not quite a medal, I don't think.
Marbles getting airborne, and we're seeing in the last few runs the teams higher up the standings coming into their own in this new event. The Aquamarines are looking pretty good, aside from that third push that really could have done a lot more there. But the Aquamarines, they're going to be surely in the top half provisionally. 5th place out of 12 runners. It's not good enough for the podium, but 53.7, cracking 50, that's a solid run from them. The next run will be the Poison Ivy, our home team, but before that we'll see the standings. Green Lotus still untouched at the top, ahead of the Venomous Vipers and the Shadow Riders. Now the Poison Ivy, a huge cheer from the crowd. We see them in the 13th run.
The final 4 now. These are for the 4 that I've been up there for pretty much the entire season so far. Poison Ivy, first to come down of the final 4, of course, and we'll see how they go. First one comes down, and it's a solid first push. What can the others do? Will second and third come down together? No, it's going to be more spread apart this time. Second and third, and the third one completely misses the block, and the anchor comes down now with no one in his way, so it should be a solid push. But Poison Ivy, that was, I don't know what happened to the third marble there. That was just shocking.
I think this third marble got airborne, got out of the track before they could make any contact with the block, so they're really only pushing with 3 marbles there. And despite a good first push, not too bad of an anchor, I don't think this is going to get anywhere due to just pushing with 3 marbles. 39.8, that's dead last! Dead last for the Poison Ivy, and the home fans are not happy about that.
That is rough for Poison Ivy. The home team embarrassing themselves in front of the home crowd, and that third marble, I still can't believe it, just completely misses the block. Golden Cheeses following that up, sitting in third place. What can they do to try and get another medal out of this one? The first marble coming down, and it's a solid first hit as the others start to group up. Who's going to come down next? It will be second, just in time at the third one, and it's a fantastic second and third one. The anchor could get them into a medal spot here. It's going to be very close, up towards the yellow mark. It is just not going to be good enough. That is very close.
For the Golden Cheeses, a very good push. Pretty consistent from all 4 pushes, but just not enough, just barely, to pass the Green Lotus. It's going to be very close with the Venomous Vipers, though. What will it be with the Venomous Vipers? I think these two are going to be extremely close for second place. The Golden Cheeses, though, this might be just what they need to get back towards the top of the standings.
Oh, it's really close. We're waiting for that graphic to come see where they are. It is P3, 60.0 flat for the Golden Cheeses, just behind the Venomous Vipers. They take the provisional podium spot with just 2 runs to go. This confirms that Green Lotus will get at least a bronze, provided Deep Divers and Red Lotus don't beat them. But Deep Divers is penultimate run of the day, just after getting gold in the last event. Can they make it back to back?
Getting silver in the last event, but can they make it back to back for medals? After a great run for the Golden Cheeses, they're going to need to dig deep. It's good second push, not great third. What can the anchor do?
It's going to be about to be a good one, and it's pretty solid from the anchor. That is a fantastic final push from the anchor, but the struggling in those middle pushes is going to get the Deep Divers into another, but it's a solid mid-pack spot. It should be in the top half, provisionally at least, and the Deep Divers are just getting behind what looks to be like a high 50s score. That is not bad, but if they're going to try and catch those championship leaders, they'll need to do more than that.
Deep Divers have been very consistent in Season 4 as opposed to Season 3 where they struggled a lot. 5th place it is, not better than the Golden Cheeses, their rivals in this season, but that's a pretty solid run. We will have a Lotus team that wins this event, but will it be the Green Lotus or the Red Lotus? The Red Lotus, the only ones that can beat their rivals, the Green Lotus. What can our championship leaders do?
This also means Venomous Vipers have locked in a medal. Red Lotus, a fantastic opening push. Second, third, and fourth still yet to come down. Second one also pushed it quite far. Third one is phenomenal. The anchor here has all of the dominoes in the way for him to do it, and he strikes. That is really close. Is that just beyond green? That is. I cannot tell from that angle. We'll have to see the replay. Did that push beyond the yellow block?
In the final run of the day, they might have just barely done enough, but it's so close, it's too close to tell. It's going to be at least a silver for the Red Lotus, another fantastic event for them, but is it good enough for the win?
Green Lotus sweating right now, waiting for that graphic to come up. Did the Red Lotus just push beyond one of their Lotus team rivals? It is pretty much down to millimeters, and it is! 63.5! 2 golds in a row for the Red Lotus, hot off a gold medal, and now they're going to push well ahead in the lead here. 25 points, and Golden Cheeses just knocked off the podium despite being so high up. But Red Lotus, Green Lotus, and the Venomous Vipers will round out this podium.
So after event 6, Red Lotus with that gold medal, they have cracked 101 points. Just 75 for the Deep Divers in second and 73 for the Golden Cheeses in third place. Red Lotus have taken command of this season and are trying to pull off the championship defense. And in the Captain's Championship of just the team events, Red Lotus have taken the lead here as well, ahead of the Golden Cheeses and the Majestic Melons. The next event will be B Division block bumping as well, which Angus will join us for once again, and after that the Gauntlet Run.